Hi, I'm Julie Roca, and I am a senior consultant specialist with Next Steps Senior Solutions, and you are joining us at the Right Door podcast. With so many senior living and care options these days, it's hard to know where to start. Well, we do. Life has lots of next steps in them, and we want to be with you every step of the way.
My name is Sira Boats. I am the founder and the creator of Boats Memory Method and the Memory Bouquet, creating solutions and a pathway to critical decision making and care plan development for our persons living with dementia and changing the face of dementia one person at a time. And we are so glad you joined us today. We hope this is the right door for you today in discovering with us some of the innovative things that's out there with dementia care and also taking care of the sandwich generation.
Yes, indeed. And the last episode, we talked about the Lily and some of the solutions that we can find
in independent living.
Yes. This week, we want to go into the next flower that you have, the next step maybe in this process.
That's correct. So just a quick recap. The Memory Bouquet is the expression of the Boats analysis of functional cognition. So as an occupational therapist and a healthcare worker for over 30 years, my frustration in serving persons living with dementia and their families, the sandwich generation, the caregivers that has so much on their plate. Mm-hmm. My frustration was, how do I create a solution? How do I create a bridge of hope between the diagnosis of dementia, cognitive decline, to a roadmap, a pathway which caregivers can hold on to help them develop and understand what the solutions and interventions are needed for each of these cognitive stages so that our person can age in place.
Yep, I love that. So what is that next flower that we want to talk about today?
So the first flower we talked about 2 episodes ago was our lily, which was the mild cognitive impairment, or I like to talk about early neurocognitive decline. And so the next level, and I'll just, so that just for clarity, the next level is the daisy, which is our mild cognitive decline versus our early cognitive decline, mild cognitive decline. Then you get your violet, which is our moderate cognitive decline. Our rose level is severe cognitive decline. Yeah. And then towards the end of our dementia walk, we're talking about advanced cognitive decline as the bouquet level. The bouquet, the last stage is the bouquet level. So today we want to focus on the daisy level. So mild cognitive decline, neurocognitive decline. You may have a mild dementia diagnosis at this point.
Okay. So other people, maybe not just your closest family and friends, are starting to be able to notice some changes.
Correct. So at the daisy level, and I touched a little bit on one of the episodes that I chose the daisy, the Gerbera daisy, which we have a live example here as a native flower to South Africa, where I'm from, and also a flower that was growing in my grandma's garden. And she was a caregiver of her husband who lived with Alzheimer's. And I love the representation of the daisy for the caregiver is someone that can express all their strengths. You can help this person set up an activity that they're well familiar with. Maybe it's a cooking activity, maybe it is crocheting, maybe it's out of the wood workshop.
Yeah.
And as long as they have all the tools that they know set up, and they have somebody that in the distance that's supervising and is there for safety or there for questions, they can engage and be successful with a lot of those activities that they have been doing.
Yes.
So that's the hope in our Daisy.
I love that. I have a friend, a fairly new friend, that has the Daisy level at this point. She's recently stopped driving. Her family discovered it was probably safer for them all for her to stop cooking because she would get started with a cooking project, run out to the backyard, and begin to garden.
Yes.
And forget that she had food cooking on the stove. And so after a couple of incidents like that, her family said, no more of this. And she wasn't quite ready to give that up. And so they said, all right, let's compromise and we'll do a weekly family cooking night. And so in that cooking night with her family supporting right beside.
And her supervision right there.
She is able to still continue to cook and have that feeling of still being able to spend the time with her family and provide for her family.
That's amazing. And at this level, we can adapt. We can take away dangerous electronic devices such as a stove, but we can implement microwave use.
Yes.
We can implement even toaster oven use where we know that oven's going to switch off on its own. The worst that can happen is somebody's going to burn the toast, right?
Yes.
And with visual cues on that toaster oven, simple visual cues, this person will be able in the moment while they're engaging with the visual cues, they can engage with it, understand it, and execute it. And that's the lovely part of the Daisy level is, yes, that we do recognize that there is short-term memory loss, that there's retention issues at this level.
Yeah.
They're distractible. There may be some attention span issues. We know that we should be very careful with stove use, with maybe dangerous appliance use. There should be close supervision involved. This person shouldn't be driving anymore. Medication management becomes something that we have to be involved with and supervise. Finances we should be involved with and supervise as that sandwich caregiver, not take it away from my person, but how can I be involved and support them in a way to where we know they're not going to get in trouble?
Right. And this is where setting up those processes must be really important. I know with my friend, she said at this point it was her option to give up the driving and to give up the oven. And she felt like she still had some power.
Right.
And so she did. And then her family helped her to set up those processes and procedures so that she can still continue to live a very productive and
be meaningfully engaged.
Yes. And she's been very meaningfully engaged.
And meaningfully engaged means that you have choices. Meaningfully engaged means that other people recognize your strengths, that other people recognize and include you in the decision-making by allowing choices that's going to be safe for you.
Yeah.
And that's why it's so important that we understand the different levels of neurocognitive decline that dementia has encompassed in that umbrella, right?
Yeah, right.
When we have that dementia umbrella, a lot of times it feels like a very dark room. And in the healthcare world, I call it the elephant in the room because we know it's there, but we don't know what to do about it.
Yes, and you don't know until you get in the middle of it, and then all of a sudden you feel overwhelmed.
And so through the flower levels where we have created hope, we have created a baseline for our caregivers, for our persons living with dementia to have an accurate expectation for the type of support, the type of interventions that we can create and provide to maintain that meaningful engagement for our persons so that we can keep them where they are at longer and prevent that decline that happens. So the few red flags that I just want to highlight before we wrap up is finances, driving, medication management, and then, of course, dangerous appliances. And that for your person, they need some level of supervision and support every day to be successful.
Yep.
They need some touch points and to really know that for each of our flower levels, for each of our memory bouquet levels, if your person gets dehydrated, they may suddenly present at a level lower. as a violet, or if they're ill, they may suddenly present lower. And when you understand where your person function at, those early signs can help you to make quick interventions to help them bounce back to their daisy self.
Yes. Or to have the help present when they need it.
When they need it, that's right.
Well, I'm really looking forward to our next episode, when we're going to talk some more about some solutions and some ways that we can really help our daisy to live the best life possible.
That's right, Julian. If this was the right door for you today, and we hope it is, that you will hit like and share so that you can follow along on our journey and invite maybe fellow sandwich generation to follow along on our journey as we explore solutions, and go to our website, Next Step Senior Solutions and Boats Memory Method. Reach out to us via email. We have lots of resources for you at our website.
Yes, and we'd love to know any questions that you would love to have discussed.
That's right, Julie. Until next time.
Yes. Thank you, Sarah.